Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting up to Carlisle. I've drawn 1-1 away from home at Sutton to confirm a 5th place finish. Look, this is a match review, but I have a feeling that it's going to rely heavily on playoff talk, not so much match talk. So I'll just get my little match review out the way to start things off with. We were absolutely dreadful in the first half. Look, and to be fair, the goal was shocking. The goal was absolutely terrible. From the defending side of things, it was poor. Look, I don't like Armour at centre back. We might see it a bit more in the playoffs, but I just don't like Armour at centre back. And Thomas Hawley just watches it go past him. He doesn't even move for it, which you can argue he couldn't see the shot when it was being taken because it was taken from behind the man. But he still needs to move. It's like Ben Foster says, even if you know you're not going to make it, dive just to make it look like you've made an effort. You know, he just stands and watches it go in, which is a big sort of pet hate of mine in terms of goalkeeping. But yeah, we get a goal back in the second half, late in the second half, and we probably deserved it, to be fair. People will say we didn't play very well, which we didn't, but I think in terms of the run of play, draw is probably a fair result out of that. The cross comes in from Taylor Charters, or is it a shot? I know he's trying to claim the goal, but it was probably an own goal. I've given it to Taylor up there, just, you know, because it's funny. But it was more than likely an own goal, let's be honest. But look, and it gets us the point. It puts us into 5th. It gives us a very favourable playoff tie, whether we're going to win it or not. I think if you'd have asked me before that game where I wanted us to finish, I would say wherever we get to play Bradford, because, you know, Salford have proved recently that they can beat us. Stockport you want to avoid because they're probably the best team in the playoffs on paper, and because Ben Barkley wouldn't be able to play against them if he can play against anyone at all with his loan coming to an end. But yeah, I probably would have chosen Bradford if you'd have given me the option out of the three. So I'm glad we've got them, and I'm glad we get to play the away leg first. You know, it's always good to get that out of the way. You know, have the result be decided at Brunton Park. It's always a big bonus, and I'm fairly confident with it. I am confident with it, and it's nice to be involved in the playoffs once. It's just people will be frustrated that we didn't finish in the top 3, which I completely understand, because there was a point where it looked absolutely certain, and you know, people say we bottled it, but with the squad depth we've had, with the injuries we've had this season, people seem to forget that bad run of injuries we had in the first half of the season where we had no centre backs available. And, you know, even towards the end of the season, we've had no right-backs available. And the centre-back sort of, you know, tragedies came up again because Jack Ellis, who can play there, he's injured. Feeney's injured. Mellish is suspended. You know, it doesn't look good in that regard. Plus, Barkley might not be able to play against Stockport. Plus, with the right-backs, we just don't have any right-backs, and he refuses to play Joel Senior for some reason. It looks like we're going to have to play Jack Armour centre-back and Ben Barkley right-back. I would much rather see Senior right-back with Barkley being pushed back into the centre-back and Jack Armour back to left-back where he belongs. Because, look, Jack Armour's one of our most consistent players, and I don't think he played well against Sutton. But at the same time, I don't blame him because he's a left-back being played centre-back. That's just not his position. That's just not what he's there to do. I thought it was very funny that we had 2 full-backs on that game and 3 centre-backs, yet we're playing one of the full-backs at centre-back and one of the centre-backs at full-back. It didn't make sense for me. You know, Robinson's sort of attributes when we signed him were that he's a versatile player. That's why he gets on the bench ahead of Joel Senior. He's a lot more versatile player, apparently. So why not play him at right-back? I mean, I understand that, you know, this isn't FIFA. You can't just play a left-back at right-back and expect it to go well, but that was one of the selling points with him when we signed him, that he could play both sides and that he could play centre-back, that he was a very, very versatile young player that can play right across the back line. So it's a weird decision for me, and maybe it's a matter of Simpson just testing to see who can play where, to see what's going to be available for the playoffs, because coming into that game, if we'd have finished 7th, we'd have had to play Stockport and we'd have to play without Ben Barkley, so it might have been sort of necessary that we played Jack Armour centre-back, and he was maybe just testing to see how good he would do that, or just to give him the minutes at centre-back to sort of up his game a little bit, get him ready for it in a sense. But it looks like we're not going to have to play them at least until the final, which, you know, they're going to be favourites to get in the final, aren't they? Because they're that good of a team, that, you know, they're a very rich team, and, you know, we're not and the teams around us maybe aren't either. Bradford aren't. Well, Salford definitely are, I suppose, with the class of 92. But look, going back to the original point that I went on a massive deviation from, at the start of the season, you offer me 5th, I snap your hand off. It's an absolutely fantastic finish to the season. Or not, sorry, not a fantastic finish to the season. It's actually been a woeful finish to the season, but it's a good sort of end position to be in come the end of the season. And look, it's been so long since we've even been involved in promotion talk. I'm sick of us talking about whether we're going to get relegated or not, and it's nice to be on the other end of things for once this year. And I think people forget that with sort of the short-term memory loss of saying we should have been in the top 3, which we didn't finish that far away from in the end. But 76 points, it's a very, very good points tally. It's a very strong league this season, in my opinion. You know, Leyton Orient were fantastic. They're such a good team. Stevenage as well. I really can't stand their manager, but they're a very good team. Northampton have got some fantastic players. Hoskins. And you even look at Stockport, the money they've pumped into the squad. Salford, the amount of money they've had for years. The fact that with a relatively small budget compared to these teams, we've managed to finish up there with them and challenge for them top 3 places is a real accomplishment from Simpson and the entire squad that's been involved in it. And I just hope we can finish the season off well, and I hope we can get into the final at least, and I hope we can be playing teams like Blackpool and Derby next season, which, you know, I think we deserve a spell in League One. And I think, weirdly, out of the 7 at the top of the table, I trust us more than any of them to stay up if we went up, just because I think managers matter the most in relegation battles. And not to say that we'd be in a relegation battle, but I think we'd do very well if we went up. But let's focus on getting there first, eh? Yeah, poor results. We need to play better than that if we're going to get anywhere near the top, near League One next season. But it's the playoffs. It's a completely different competition. It's a completely different ballpark, and we're gonna up our game, or at least you'd expect us to. You know, the players would want to be up for Sutton. There's nothing really to play for, you know, except from not getting beat 8-0, which would have seen us drop out of the playoffs. And in the end, that probably wouldn't have even, with Salford losing. But yeah, weird result. But in the end, it's a favourable draw in the playoffs, and you know, I'm just going to look forward to it. I'm just excited to be involved in that. But yeah, sorry for the late upload as well. I was down in Sutton, and it's been a really busy day today, so I haven't been able to get this out till quite late. But yeah, thank you for the support as always. Thank you for the support this season as well. The channel's, you know, this is the end of the league campaign now, and I think it's only right that I thank everyone who's supported this channel, because we've grown exponentially this year, more than we grew any of the other years I've been doing this channel. We've got more views this season than ever before, and it's an accomplishment, and I'm proud of this channel, and I'm proud of the sort of community that's been built around it. But yeah, just thank you to everyone that's made it this far in the video. Thank you for those regular viewers. You know, there's too many to mention now without trying to sound too big-headed, but yeah, just thank you for the continued support this season, and yeah, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.